This wasn't some gimmicky concept car. It boasted space, luxury, and enough cutting-edge technology to make buyers question why they ever considered anything else. And the name on the front? Not a scrappy startup or prestige badge. It was Toyota, a brand known for reliability, not for rewriting history in one bold strike. The world reacted instantaneously. Media outlets and investors scrambled. Consumers flooded dealerships. And competitors? They were left with one burning question: how can we compete with this? This is not just about selling more cars anymore, it is about shattering the illusion that electric vehicles are only for the rich or the tech elite. Affordability has become Toyota's battering ram. This is where things get dangerous. Because this wasn't just a cheap car. It was a Trojan horse, a perfect storm hiding inside a bargain. And what happens next could change the future of driving forever. Stay with us, because this is the beginning of something bigger than anyone expected. The business move that's bleeding billions, on purpose. At first glance, the pricing made no sense. $13,000 for a full-size electric sport utility vehicle packed with features? Industry analysts dug into the numbers and quickly realized what was happening: Toyota was losing money on every single unit. Not by accident. On purpose. To outsiders, that might look reckless. But inside Toyota's boardroom, it was something else entirely: war strategy. The company's decision to sell the BZ3X at a loss was not a failure of accounting. It was a calculated strike. Toyota had waited, watched, and prepared. Now, it was making its move with the kind of long-game thinking most modern corporations abandoned a generation ago. A calculated strike. This was not unprecedented. Amazon once sold e-readers and streaming boxes at a loss. Uber lost billions to dominate ride-sharing. Netflix gave away content to build a global subscriber base. Each of them sacrificed early profits to claim territory, and they won. Toyota was doing the same thing, except instead of media or transport, it was claiming the very future of mobility. Loss leading, in this case, was not a weakness. It was a weapon. Toyota had the size, the cash reserves, and the global reach to endure short-term financial pain. Tesla, by comparison, had high margins but far less flexibility. The BZ3X was designed to squeeze that margin, push Tesla into a corner, and force it to either drop its prices, bleeding cash, or stay expensive and bleed customers. It worked almost instantly. Dealers flooded with inquiries. Tesla forums lit up with worried buyers asking if they had overpaid. Electric vehicle pricing, long an obstacle to adoption, was obliterated in a single, brutal blow. And it was not just Tesla that felt the heat. Every automaker relying on mid to high-end electric vehicle pricing was now exposed. The industry had spent a decade preparing for disruption. They just didn't expect it to come from the company best known for reliability, hybrids, and calculated conservatism. Toyota had flipped its reputation. It was no longer the cautious giant. It was the aggressor. And the victim? Tesla, whether it fought back or not. How? We will talk about that, but first you need to hit the subscribe, then we will go into the details. Inside the tech, how Toyota made a budget EV that doesn't feel cheap. When people heard the price, the assumption was obvious: this must be a bare-bones machine. Some plastic shell on wheels. Something rushed, compromised, disposable. Then the specifications came out, and the world gasped. The BZ3X did not feel like a budget car. It felt like a revolt. Inside, it featured a massive 14 6/10-inch touchscreen, a digital display behind the wheel, and an 11-speaker premium audio system. Adaptive cruise control, automated emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, it was all standard. This was not entry-level. This was shock therapy. The secret behind the magic was threefold. First, Toyota had partnered with Guangzhou Automobile Group, a Chinese manufacturer with deep expertise in high-volume, cost-efficient production. That alliance allowed Toyota to skip expensive in-house development and tap into one of the world's fastest, cheapest, and most agile manufacturing pipelines. Second, the battery. Instead of relying on expensive lithium-ion technology packed with rare earth metals like cobalt, Toyota switched to lithium iron phosphate. The chemistry was more stable, less expensive, and required less complex supply chains. It was also more durable over time. That change alone cut thousands in production costs per unit. Third, Toyota leaned on its unmatched manufacturing scale. No other automaker has refined production efficiency the way Toyota has. With decades of practice in supply chain optimization, Toyota built the BZ3X on foundations that were already streamlined, automated, and tested to perfection. Every dollar saved was directed back into features that mattered: comfort, convenience, and consumer confidence. As the industry scrambled to dissect how Toyota did it, consumers began drawing their own conclusions. Why pay $50,000 for a fancy badge when Toyota gave them more for a fraction of the cost? The BZ3X redefined expectations. It was not just a cheaper electric vehicle. It was better. That's when consumers started abandoning Tesla. The day Elon's pricing power died. Tesla built an empire not just on batteries and sleek design, but on narrative. It was the car of the future, driven by tech visionaries and early adopters. Tesla didn't just sell electric vehicles. It sold status. That illusion collapsed the day Toyota priced the BZ3X at $13,000. Now Tesla was trapped. If it slashed prices to stay competitive, its profit margins would implode. Unlike Toyota, which could absorb losses across dozens of product lines and regions, Tesla had no cushion. It could not simply will itself into affordability. And the more it tried, the more cracks showed. Every Tesla sale came with high expectations and narrow margins. Factories were specialized, vertical, and optimized for a premium product line. Rebuilding those systems for cheaper models now ask themselves, and money. Why should I pay triple Tesla was running out and fewer features? Meanwhile, Toyota had launched a full-scale ground assault at the exact moment Tesla was planning moonshots. And in doing so, this was the moment Tesla's greatest strength, premium its pricing was no longer became its greatest weakness. It was inertia. As Tesla scrambled for a response, the broader market shifted under its feet. Buyers were no longer dreaming about future models. They were placing orders today. Dealerships were flooded. Financing requests exploded. And Tesla? Tesla looked like yesterday's future. And Elon knew this was just the beginning. Tesla's factory empire can't survive this price war. Tesla's factories were once symbols of innovation, massive, gleaming temples of automation and control. From Fremont to Shanghai to Berlin, Elon Musk built an empire of vertical integration. Every part of the vehicle, from battery to body, was brought in-house. It was Tesla's edge, its core strength. Now, it's the very thing threatening to break the company. In a world where Toyota can partner, outsource, and scale up production with surgical precision, Tesla's lockdown factory model is starting to crack. Tesla must bear the full cost of innovation, production, labor, and assembly. Toyota doesn't. It has created a flexible network of cost-sharing partnerships, including with Chinese manufacturer GAC, which allows Toyota to produce competitive electric vehicles at shockingly low prices. Tesla, on the other hand, has built a system that depends entirely on premium pricing to sustain itself. The problem is that vertical integration only works when the margins justify the control. Tesla's high factory expenses were tolerable when it sold electric vehicles at premium prices. Now, with Toyota offering a full-size electric sport utility vehicle for under $14,000, Tesla's structure has become a financial liability. Every assembly line Tesla has is optimized for a specific model. That means innovation and redesigns are slow, costly, and disruptive. It also means Tesla can't simply pivot to a budget model without overhauling its entire infrastructure. The Model Y, Tesla's best-selling vehicle, cannot be re-engineered into an affordable version without cannibalizing its existing profit stream. Toyota, however, isn't facing this dilemma. Its scale and manufacturing diversity allow it to launch aggressive pricing strategies without risking the collapse of its entire operation. Tesla's once revolutionary model has become rigid. In a market that demands flexibility, Tesla is locked inside its own walls. Tesla's only advantage left might be the charging network it built. The supercharger system, once laughed at as an expensive indulgence, has grown into the most reliable electric vehicle charging network in the world. It is Tesla's crown jewel, its moat. Or so it believed. The supercharger monopoly is ending, and Elon can't stop it. Tesla's supercharger network wasn't just a convenience, it was a strategic advantage. It made Tesla the only electric car capable of worry-free long-distance travel. Other automakers were forced to partner with Tesla or play catch-up. For a while, it worked. Tesla drivers enjoyed the peace of mind knowing they could always find a charging station. That advantage is fading fast. Governments in North America and Europe are mandating universal charging standards, meaning all electric vehicles can soon use any fast charging station. As Tesla opens its network to competitors, those competitors are building their own charging infrastructure at a rapid pace, especially in China, where companies like BYD are racing ahead. Toyota's strategy of partnering with existing networks allows it to scale quickly without building its own from scratch. Tesla's once exclusive edge is eroding. As third-party networks gain trust, the supercharger network will become just another option rather than a differentiator. This shift couldn't come at a worse time for Tesla, already facing pricing pressure from Toyota and manufacturing limitations. With its infrastructure lead disappearing, Tesla can no longer rely solely on its technology to justify its premium. Dealerships strike back. Tesla's direct-to-consumer model was hailed as visionary. No dealerships. No pushy salespeople. No showroom markups. Just a sleek online interface and a car delivered straight to your driveway. It was efficient, futuristic, and now, increasingly impractical. In reality, most consumers want more than a frictionless purchase. They want support. They want a place to take their vehicle when something goes wrong. They want someone to talk to when the screen freezes or the software update misfires. Toyota understands this. Its global dealership network has become one of its most underestimated weapons in this battle. Toyota's service centers are everywhere: urban cores, rural towns, highway outposts. That means maintenance, warranty work, parts replacement, and general repairs happen quickly and locally. Tesla owners, by contrast, often face multi-week waits for basic service. In some regions, the nearest Tesla service center is hundreds of miles away. More importantly, Toyota's dealership network builds trust. Buyers in emerging markets, first-time electric vehicle owners, and aging populations feel reassured by face-to-face interaction. In North America, Tesla has managed to avoid dealer regulations in many states. Outside the United States, however, many governments prohibit direct-to-consumer vehicle sales altogether. In those regions, Tesla cannot even compete legally unless it partners with local dealers, something it has avoided doing at all costs. In China, the result, BYD has become an electric Tesla's vehicle innovative model is beginning to feel with isolated support from the Chinese government, cost-effective battery Toyota builds community and a massive domestic sale infrastructure. BYD has already overtaken Tesla with a software into electric vehicle sales. And while Elon Musk's brand appeal is expanding aggressively into Southeast Asia, Latin America, and Europe. Especially when rivals are offering lower prices, invested tens of billions into electric vehicle development. Isolation becomes deadly when faced with a coordinated global scale, not just brand recognition, but from Tesla's customer base give it significant power. Simultaneously. Volkswagen isn't building from scratch. It is converting existing plants, dealer networks, and customer loyalty into electric market share. And now, with Toyota's sudden and aggressive return, offering a full-size electric sport utility vehicle for under $14,000 dollars, Tesla finds itself surrounded. Each of these competitors has a unique advantage. BYD dominates on battery technology and domestic market share. Toyota brings pricing, reliability, and global infrastructure. Volkswagen offers brand loyalty, premium positioning, and European clout. Tesla, once the disruptor, is now the one being disrupted. In boardrooms and investor calls, Tesla still insists that its long-term plans remain unchanged. But inside the company, leadership faces an entirely different market, one where loyalty is fading, competitors are scaling, and pricing is no longer in Tesla's control. And Tesla's competitors? They are just getting started. Gasoline just got a death sentence. The days when gasoline-powered vehicles had a clear cost advantage are quickly fading. With Toyota's groundbreaking electric SUV priced lower than many gas-fueled cars, the debate about which type of vehicle makes more financial sense is effectively over. Electric vehicles, once seen as a premium option, are now directly competing on affordability and winning. This shift has obliterated the remaining economic rationale for sticking with traditional combustion engines. Driving a gasoline-powered car used to mean saving money upfront, even if fuel costs added up over time. Now, even that initial savings is gone. Electric vehicles not only cost less to purchase, but their per-mile operating costs are rapidly undercutting gas. The price of electricity, combined with the efficiency of modern electric motors, means that every mile driven costs significantly less than the equivalent in gasoline. As drivers realize how much they stand to save, the psychological barrier that kept many loyal to gas cars begins to crumble. This change in consumer mindset is happening fast. People who once hesitated to consider an electric vehicle because of cost are now finding themselves without a valid reason to avoid making the switch. And this transformation isn't limited to individuals. The corporate world has taken notice, and they are moving even faster. Fleet frenzy: why businesses are ditching gas overnight. Commercial fleet operators, who must carefully calculate every expense, are recognizing the undeniable economic benefits of going electric. Taxi companies, ride-sharing platforms, and large logistics firms are finding that Toyota's affordable electric SUV changes the equation entirely. These organizations live and die by cost-per-mile calculations, and the math is clear: switching to electric dramatically lowers long-term operating costs. It's not just the cost savings on fuel that appeal to fleet managers. Electric vehicles are cheaper to maintain, there are no oil changes, fewer moving parts to break down, and brakes that last longer due to regenerative systems. With less time spent on repairs and maintenance, vehicles stay on the road longer, improving overall efficiency. Fleet operators can now invest in larger numbers of vehicles without the financial strain that once came with adopting new technology. What's more, bulk adoption of electric vehicles by fleets triggers a domino effect. As these vehicles become more common, the demand for public charging stations grows, encouraging the rapid expansion of charging infrastructure. Once this infrastructure becomes ubiquitous, the transition to electric will accelerate even further. And these business advantages didn't happen by accident. Toyota, with its massive production capacity and global dealer network, built a vehicle designed to meet fleet demands, something Tesla never prioritized. The shift in business adoption is now feeding a broader transformation, impacting not just companies but also government policies. The EV incentive backfire: governments must rethink everything. Government programs designed to make electric vehicles more appealing are facing an unexpected challenge: they are no longer needed in the same way. When electric vehicles were expensive, subsidies and tax credits served as a vital bridge, helping to close the price gap. Now that Toyota has shattered that gap, policymakers are realizing that their focus needs to shift. Instead of spending resources to make electric vehicles cheaper, governments are now looking at how to invest in the infrastructure that supports them. With more affordable EVs on the market, the new challenge is making sure people can charge them conveniently and reliably. This means pouring resources into building fast-charging networks, upgrading power grids, and incentivizing renewable energy production to handle the growing demand. Meanwhile, countries are also rethinking their economic strategies. Many nations once saw electric vehicles as a luxury market dominated by premium brands. Toyota's entry at such a low price point changes still holding onto their old gas-powered cars. Now, the race isn't about producing a few high-end electric models. It's about dominating a mass market that's rapidly shifting away from fossil fuels. The once steady resale value of gasoline-powered economic is plummeting, with countries rushing to ensure their own automakers' new model flood the market. Fewer buyers see the value setting the new standard. Governments are scrambling to adjust their policies. Electric vehicles are cheaper to run. There's also the growing perception that gas cars are obsolete. These ripple effects are setting the stage for a fundamental change in how the world views transportation. Vehicles are valued over time. Owners who once counted on selling their gas cars at a reasonable price now face the stark reality of diminishing returns. As electric cars become the default choice, gas vehicles are losing their appeal faster than ever. People are starting to treat their gas cars like old smartphones, functional, but not desirable. The smart money is moving into electric vehicles, which promise longer lifespans, lower maintenance costs, and better overall resale value. Toyota's bold pricing strategy is doing more than making EVs affordable, it's transforming the entire ownership experience. The balance of power in the car market is shifting. For every driver who makes the switch to electric, the value of remaining gas cars drops a little more. And while consumers and businesses scramble to keep up, a larger question looms on the horizon. Can the grid handle this? Well, that's a tough question, and one we need to break down. But first, take a moment to subscribe. It's free, easy, and quick. I'll even wait for you to do it. Thanks. The looming charging crisis. No one expected electric vehicle sales to skyrocket at this pace, and the result is a sudden strain on existing power systems. In major metropolitan areas, utilities are racing to add capacity, while rural communities worry that outdated equipment will not keep up with countless drivers plugging in each night. Entire streets lined with electric cars charging simultaneously have become a new reality, revealing every weak point in the system. Power companies that once treated electric vehicles as a fleet frenzy, why businesses are ditching gas overnight. Commercial fleet operators, obsessive about every expense, are embracing the undeniable economic benefits of going electric. Taxi companies, ride-sharing platforms, and large logistics firms are discovering that Toyota's affordable electric SUV changes the equation entirely. These organizations live and die by cost-per-mile calculations, and the math is clear: switching to electric dramatically lowers long-term operating costs. It's not just fuel savings that appeal to fleet managers. Electric vehicles require less maintenance, no oil changes, fewer moving parts, and regenerative braking systems that extend brake life. With reduced downtime, vehicles stay on the road longer, boosting overall efficiency. Fleets can now expand without